Ladies and gentlemen, we've all been there, haven't we? Those moments when life feels like it's not playing fair. When we've worked so hard, been so faithful, yet it seems like the world is stacked against us. It's in those moments when we're hit with unexpected challenges, those times when the door slams shut in our face, when we've been misunderstood, or when things just don't go the way we hope, that we have to decide what will be our move. I know what it's like to face those tough moments. You may have been there too, feeling that frustration, that question deep down, why is this happening to me? But let me remind you today, how you respond to unfairness will determine your future. Life might not always seem fair, but that doesn't mean it gets the last word. You do. The key is this: your perspective is more powerful than you realize. We can't always control the circumstances that come our way, but we can control how we react to them. Yes, things may not be going your way right now, but you can choose to look at it with a new perspective. You can choose to rise above the disappointment and see that adversity can shape you into the person you're meant to be. Let's talk about growth. It's easy to look at struggle and think it's the end of the road. But what if I told you that those struggles are often the very things that build our character and shape our destiny? We've seen it time and time again. People who went through the fire, faced their darkest days, and came out stronger, wiser, and more determined. Your greatest breakthroughs are often born out of the hardest battles. Now, I know it's difficult when you're in the middle of something and it feels like nothing's happening. You're praying, working, hoping, but still, it seems like nothing is changing. Friends, this is where faith comes in. You see, God doesn't always work on our timetable, but He's always working. You might not see it today, but your breakthrough is closer than you think. Trust that everything is unfolding at the right time. Keep your heart open, because sometimes the answer is simply not yet. It's easy to get bitter when life feels unfair, but that bitterness will only hold you back. It's like carrying a heavy weight that slows you down. Friends, you weren't created to live with anger or resentment. You were created to live with peace, joy, and love. Let go of those grudges, and you'll find that you're not only freeing the person who wronged you, you're freeing yourself. Now, let me ask you, what can you control today? We can't change what others do, but we can always control how we respond. Take charge of the things you can control. Focus on your attitude, your mindset, and the actions you can take. No matter how small those steps seem, they're leading you somewhere. Keep moving forward. And remember this: your purpose is bigger than your pain. Your journey is more important than your struggle. Life may seem unfair, but you are not here by accident. You have a purpose, a calling that no setback can take away. Even when the road is tough, hold fast to that truth. Your life is making a difference, and you are moving towards something incredible. Finally, let's talk about endurance. When life feels unfair, it can be easy to give up. But remember, endurance is what brings success. The race isn't always won in the first few miles. It's won by those who keep going, even when the road gets hard. Stay faithful, stay strong, and trust that every step you take is a step closer to your victory. So when life feels unfair, and it will take a deep breath, and remember this: you are not alone. You are stronger than you think, and you have the power to rise above anything that comes your way. Keep going, keep believing, and keep moving forward. Your best days are ahead of you. We all know that life isn't always fair. It doesn't take long to realize that things don't always go the way we expect, the way we think they should. Sometimes we work hard and do everything right, yet we still face setbacks. We get knocked down when we least expect it, and we can't help but wonder why it's happening. It's in those moments when life seems unfair that we are truly tested. Have you ever had one of those days, or even one of those seasons in life where it feels like the odds are stacked against you? Where no matter how much effort you put in, things just don't seem to go your way. I know I have. You pour your heart into something, you give it your all, but life still hands you an unexpected blow. But here's what I want you to remember: being in a situation that feels unfair doesn't mean it's the end of the story. It doesn't mean that it's over or that you've been forgotten. It's so easy to get discouraged when things aren't going the way we want, when we face things that don't make sense. But in those moments of unfairness, we have an incredible opportunity. The opportunity to show up as the best version of ourselves, to rise above the circumstances, and to keep believing that something better is ahead. Life may not always be fair, but that doesn't mean we're powerless. It's in the times when things don't make sense, when it feels like we've been dealt a bad hand, that we can make a choice. We can choose to stay stuck in the unfairness, or we can choose to rise above it. We can choose to let our circumstances define us, or we can choose to redefine the way we look at those circumstances and move forward with faith, hope, and resilience. It's not about denying that life's tough at times or pretending that things don't hurt. No, it's about remembering that even in the hardest moments, even when life feels unfair, you are still in control of your response. You can still choose to believe that you have a future that's brighter than today, a purpose that's greater than any obstacle, and a strength within you that's stronger than any unfairness that may come your way. The journey is never perfect, but the way we handle it, that's what defines us. The power of your perspective is greater than you realize. When life isn't fair, when everything seems to be going wrong, we often focus so much on what we can't change that we forget to realize how much control we actually have over how we choose to see the situation. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. The truth is, it's not the circumstances that define us, but how we see those circumstances that truly shapes the outcome of our lives. Think about it, two people can face the same challenge, but while one sees it as an obstacle, the other sees it as an opportunity for growth. While one may let adversity drag them down, the other may use it to rise higher. It's all about perspective. I've seen people go through unimaginable hardships and come out stronger on the other side because they chose to see their struggles as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. I've also seen people allow those same struggles to defeat them because they couldn't change the way they viewed their situation. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at begin to change. That's the power of perspective. It's like putting on a different pair of glasses. Suddenly the road ahead isn't as intimidating, the mountains don't seem as high, and the obstacles don't seem as impossible. You see a future beyond the pain, beyond the frustration, and beyond the struggle. You see possibility where others see defeat. This doesn't mean that everything magically gets easier. No, challenges will come, pain will come, uncertainty will come. But when you have the right perspective, you can face it all with hope. Instead of asking, why me? You begin to ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of feeling stuck, you begin to see new paths forward. When you look at life with eyes of possibility, you start to see that even the unfair moments have a purpose, even if it's not always clear right away. So when life feels like it's throwing curveballs at you, remember this: you have the power to shift your perspective. You have the power to choose whether you let the storm cloud over your spirit or whether you let it become a catalyst for growth. It's in those moments that we have a chance to rise up, to be more than our circumstances, to be more than the unfairness. With the right perspective, we can turn any setback into a setup for something greater. What you choose to focus on will always influence where you go. So choose to focus on what's good, on what's possible, and on the fact that you are capable of overcoming anything that comes your way. We all want life to be smooth, don't we? We dream of the easy road, the path without obstacles or setbacks. But here's the truth, life doesn't work that way. The struggles we face aren't meant to break us, they're meant to break us, they're meant to build us. When things get tough, when it feels like the weight of the world is on our shoulders, that's when we have the chance to grow the most. You see, every challenge we face, every difficulty we endure is a chance to stretch beyond our comfort zone to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Think about it. Think about the times in your life when you faced something hard, something you thought you couldn't get through. But then you did. You made it through. And when you look back, you realize that you were different after the struggle. You learned something new about yourself. You discovered a strength you didn't know you had. The challenges we face don't just teach us about the world, they teach us about ourselves. They show us the depth of our resilience, the power of our perseverance, and the beauty of our ability to rise again. No matter how many times life knocks us down, it's easy to want to run from the hard times. We want to escape the discomfort, the pain, the uncertainty. But the truth is, we can't always control the struggles that come our way, but we can control how we respond to them. If we choose to embrace the struggle, we unlock something powerful within us. When we embrace the struggle as an opportunity for growth, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. We stop seeing setbacks as defeats and start seeing them as stepping stones to something greater. Each challenge becomes a lesson, each obstacle a chance to become better, more refined, and more prepared for what lies ahead. Look at the strongest, most successful people you know, people who have truly made an impact. They didn't get there by avoiding difficulty. They got there because they faced their struggles head on with courage and determination. They used their hardships to fuel their journey, to propel them forward instead of holding them back. Struggle doesn't define us unless we let it. It doesn't have the power to stop us unless we allow it to. The real power lies in how we respond when life isn't fair, when things go wrong. One of the hardest things to do when life feels unfair is to trust in timing. It's easy to get frustrated when things aren't happening the way we want, or when we're working hard and still not seeing the results we expect. We want things to happen now, today, on our terms. But what if I told you that sometimes the delays, the waiting periods, and the unanswered prayers are not signs that something is wrong, but signs that something is being perfectly prepared for you? We live in a world that demands instant results. We want success overnight, and we want our dreams to come true right away. But here's what I've learned sometimes: the best things in life take time. The best things are worth the wait. When things aren't happening the way we expect, it's easy to doubt, to wonder if we're on the wrong path or if we've been forgotten. But nothing in life happens by accident. Every moment, every delay, every detour is a part of the bigger picture, even if we can't see it right now. Think about the moments in your life when you've had to wait for something you really wanted. Maybe you prayed for a breakthrough, worked tirelessly for a dream, or believed for something that seemed impossible. And then just when you thought it wasn't going to happen, the door opened, often at the perfect moment. It wasn't on your timetable, but it was on the right timetable. The things you thought you had missed out on, the opportunities that seemed out of reach, were actually being perfectly positioned for you at the right time. Trusting in timing means understanding that everything has its season. There's a time for planting, a time for growth, and a time for harvest. But you can't rush that process. You can't speed up the growth of a seed. It takes time for the roots to take hold, for the stem to grow strong, and for the fruit to ripen. The same is true in your life. The work you're doing now, the waiting, the perseverance, it's all part of your growth. What may seem like a delay today could actually be a preparation for something even better tomorrow. There are seasons in life when we're called to be patient, to trust that what we've worked for, what we've hoped for, is still coming, even if we don't see it yet. Trusting in timing doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means having the faith to keep moving forward, knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. Your breakthrough is on the way, even if you can't see it yet. Your purpose is still unfolding, and what's meant for you will come at the perfect time. Sometimes we get so caught up in that we forget to trust in how we want things to go according to our plan, but often the path we expect isn't the path that will lead us to the fullest blessing. Trusting in. It's easy to let bitterness take root in our hearts when life feels unfair. When we're hurt, when we feel betrayed, or when we're wronged, bitterness can creep in quietly, wrapping its way around our thoughts, our emotions, and even our relationships. And let's be honest, it feels good for a moment, doesn't it? It feels like we're justified, like we have a right to hold on to that anger, to nurse that pain. But here's what I want you to understand. Bitterness doesn't just hurt the person who wronged you, it hurts you. It weighs you down. It holds you back. It steals your peace, your joy, and your potential. The problem with bitterness is that it traps us in the past. It keeps us anchored to something we can't change. When we allow bitterness to take over, we're giving power to the people and situations that hurt us. We're allowing them to define our present and our future, when in reality, we were never meant to be defined by the unfairness we face. You weren't meant to carry that weight. You weren't meant to let those hurts determine who you are or where you're going. I know it's hard. I know it's not easy to forgive, especially when the hurt is deep, when the wound is fresh, and when you feel like the world has done you wrong. But the true power lies in choosing to rise above bitterness. The only way to move forward is to let go of the weight that's holding you back. Forgiveness doesn't mean you forget what happened, nor does it mean that what was done to you was okay. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the power that anger and resentment have over your life. It's about reclaiming your peace, your joy, and your future. When you rise above bitterness, you're making a choice to take control of your heart. You're choosing healing over hurt, growth over stagnation, peace over pain. You're choosing to rise above the negative emotions that want to consume you, and instead you're choosing to become a bigger person, a stronger person, a person who is unshaken by the unfairness life throws their way. Think about the people who inspire you the most, the ones who have overcome the greatest trials, who have faced the deepest wounds. What makes them stand out is not that they've never been hurt, but that they've chosen to let go of bitterness and move forward with grace. They've chosen to forgive, not because it was easy, but because they knew that holding on to resentment would only keep them stuck. They knew that their future was too important to let the past control them. So today, make the decision to rise above bitterness. Choose to forgive, choose to heal, choose to free your heart from the chains of anger and resentment. You have too much potential ahead of you to stay anchored to past pain. You are stronger than you think, and you have the ability to overcome anything life throws your way. Rise above it. Let go of what's holding you down and walk into the future with freedom, with hope, and with a heart full of peace. When life feels unfair, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the things we can't control. We want answers to questions we don't have. We want to fix situations that seem out of our hands, and we want to change things that are simply beyond our reach. But here's the truth: focusing on what you can't control will only drain your energy and rob you of your peace. Life will always have its uncertainties, its challenges, and its moments of frustration. But the key to moving forward lies in focusing on what you can control. You can't control other people's actions, their opinions, or their behavior. You can't control every setback or every obstacle that comes your way. But what you can control is your attitude, your response, and the actions you choose to take. In the face of adversity, this is where your power lies. Your power lies in the decisions you make in the midst of the storm, in how you choose to show up for yourself and for others, even when life feels out of balance. There is so much freedom in realizing that you don't have to fix everything and you don't have to control everything. You don't have to let every challenge dictate how you feel or how you act. When you focus on what you can control, you stop letting external circumstances control your internal world. You start making decisions that are aligned with your values, your goals, and your purpose, rather than reacting to every difficulty that comes your way. Maybe you can't control when your breakthrough comes or how quickly things will get better, but you can control how you show up every day. You can control how much effort you put into your work, how much love you give to the people around you, and how much hope you carry in your heart. Every small action you take, no matter how insignificant it may seem, adds up. Every moment you decide to keep going, to keep moving forward, no matter how tough it gets, brings you one step closer to your breakthrough. It's also important to remember that the things you can control are often the things that matter most. You can control your mindset. You can choose to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You can choose to keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing yourself to be the best version of yourself, no matter what life throws your way. You can control the way you treat others, the way you nurture your own well-being, and the way you move through the world with kindness and grace. When you focus on what you can control, you stop wasting energy on what you can't. You stop fighting battles that don't serve you and start investing in the things that truly matter. It's the small daily choices, the little steps you take towards your goals that lead to big results over time. You may not be able to change everything around you, but you can change the way you show up. And that, my friends, is the key to unlocking your potential no matter what life throws your way. So today, take a deep breath and remind yourself you have the power to control your mindset, your actions, and your responses. Don't let the things you can't change take away from the things you can. When you focus on what you can control, you empower yourself to rise above life's unfairness and move forward with purpose, strength, and confidence. Believing in your purpose is one of the most powerful things you can do, especially when life feels unfair. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go the way you expect, when the road ahead looks uncertain, or when the challenges seem insurmountable. In those moments, it's crucial to remember that you have a purpose, a reason for being here that's greater than any obstacle or setback you might face. Your purpose is what can carry you through the toughest times. It's what gives meaning to the struggles, and it's what reminds you that your story isn't finished yet. When you believe in your purpose, you begin to understand that even in the midst of hardship, there is something greater unfolding. Life may not always make sense in the moment, but when you trust that you have been created for a reason, it gives you the strength to push through. Every challenge, every disappointment, every roadblock becomes part of the journey toward fulfilling that purpose. It's not just about what happens to you, it's about what you do with it, how you use it to move closer to your destiny. There may be times when you feel lost, unsure of where you're headed, or questioning whether your purpose really matters. But let me remind you of something: your purpose is not defined by the circumstances you're currently facing. It's defined by what's inside you, by the dreams you carry, by the gifts you've been given, and by the impact you are meant to have in this world. Even if it's unclear to you right now, there is a plan for your life that is far greater than anything you can imagine. Your purpose is already at work, even in ways you might not yet see. Believing in your purpose gives you the courage to keep going when life gets hard. It helps you rise above the feelings of doubt and discouragement because you know that there's something bigger at play. When you face challenges, it's easy to feel like you're being punished or like you're not getting the breaks you deserve. But in those moments, I want you to remember that your purpose is not about avoiding struggle, it's about growing through it. It's about how you use each season to get closer to who you are meant to become and the impact you're meant to have. Your purpose is not defined by the world's standards. It's not about accolades, titles, or how much you achieve in the eyes of others. It's about the lives you touch, the way you serve, the way you stay true to who you are, even when it's hard. The world might not always understand your journey, and the road may not always be easy, but when you know your purpose, you walk with confidence, knowing that you are headed in the right direction. When you truly believe in your purpose, it doesn't matter if life isn't fair. It doesn't matter if you've been knocked down, overlooked, or misunderstood. Your purpose is still there, waiting for you to step. So no matter where you are today, no matter how unfair life may seem or how many challenges you're facing, I want you to hold on to this. You are not defined by your setbacks, your struggles, or your circumstances. You are defined by your faith, your strength, and the purpose that is uniquely yours. Keep believing in your purpose, trust in the timing of your life, rise above bitterness, and focus on what you can control. The unfairness of life doesn't have to determine your story. It's how you respond, how you rise, and how you keep moving forward with faith and determination that truly matters. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Every challenge, every hardship is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. So keep pushing forward, even when it's tough. Keep trusting that your best days are ahead of you. The path may not always be easy, but as long as you keep believing in your purpose and walking in faith, there is nothing that can stop you. Your breakthrough is on its way and your best is yet to come.